Welcome to the Microsoft Excel training. In today's training, we are going to have an amazing, interesting session. We're going to be using the VLOOKUP function to search into a very large Excel worksheet. Now, the example we are going to be using is going to be fairly large, but it will be applicable to a very large Excel worksheet. Now, let us see. Now, look at this example that we have here. In the Microsoft Excel sheet, when we type any row number or ID number, it gives us all the products that we need. I mean, all the information we need about the product. So we want to see how we can use the VLOOKUP to achieve this. Okay, so we're going to use a sample worksheet. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make the Excel to become a kind of a search engine. So at the end of the day, even if your Excel, even if your data is quite large, you can easily use this function to look into the sheet and bring out any part of the information you want to see. So we are going to start with the first. Here we are going to put the row number. Okay, so that's going to be our search value. And then here we are going to put our VLOOKUP. But before we use the VLOOKUP, we want to take charge of this entire range since we'll be using this range. So I'm going to select the entire range and I'm going to name it as my table. Okay, so I use the name box here. I use the name box at the top here. So I typed my table and I press enter key. So what it means is that I have named this range and then I can use that range at any time. So very good. So I will just go and I'll type under the B column, I'll type VLOOKUP =, VLOOKUP. Then my lookup value will be the search value that I'm trying to look for. Okay, my table array, I have named it, so I will just use the name my table. Okay, so the advantage of doing this is instead of selecting this table all the time, the name will be used. Okay, or instead of selecting the range, the name will be used. So the next thing is, so that is, we have provided the lookup value, we provided the table array, we've also, now we are on the column index number. The column index number is, based on your selection, we have selected from the order ID down to country. So order ID is is column 1, product is column 2, category is 3, amount 4, date 5, country 6. So take note of that. So since we are trying to extract product, then our column index number is going to be 2. Our column index number is going to be 2. And since we want an exact match, we are just going to put 0 there. We have 2 values, 1 or 0, 1 for approximate match, where you're trying to make an approximate match, and 0 for exact match. So in our case, we want to get the exact value. So at this point, if we hit the enter key, we get the carrot. So if you can see, if I press number 7 here, let's see what is going to give us. 7, it gives us broccoli, and that is correct. So to now apply this to every other column here, what we're going to do is that we are going to drag through here. But before we drag, there's something that I want us to understand. And now there's a particular part of Excel knowledge that is called relative reference, absolute reference, and mixed reference. You know, when you are using referencing, when you say absolute reference, for instance, my table array has all the range. Now I used name. to, to capture the range. Now, if I didn't use name, what I will have used is absolute reference. That is the dollar this, dollar that, dollar this code, just like that, to capture the range and to make the range absolute. So, but in this case, we are trying to, use name to escape that. But for this particular aspect, we want to use a mixed reference. Okay, so I want us to see how that is going to be done. So the mixed reference to lock this A column, because we have said our search value, which is our lookup value, is A3. That means it's here. But you see, by the time we're going to drag this to the right, this particular A3 will change. So let me just show you what I mean. So if I drag this towards the right, I'm going to receive error message, because at this point, it has changed from A3 to B3. Okay. And at this point, it has changed to C3, and here changed to D3, and here changed to E3. So to avoid that, you will make this a absolute. That is, you are locking it. So it's a mixed reference because we are using both relative and absolute. We are not locking 3, but we are locking A. So what it means is that if I drag this towards this end, you can see that it now peaked. So the only thing that is left for us to change is this value. Don't forget, I said for each of the column, you assign the column index number. So this is column index number 2, then definitely this will be column index number 3. And that gives us that value. And then column index number 4, and this gives us its value. Then this one, column index number 5, and then we get that value. So I'm going to correct that, and then this one, column index number 6. Okay, so we have the value. So for this, we will format this as a date, so I can use the long date, just to be able to have more information about my date. So now, if I want to search for product number 200, I'll type order ID 200, and you can see that everything about product 200 is shown. Is banana, is the category is fruit, the amount is this, and that is the date of purchase, and that is the country. So if you want to confirm what I'm saying, let's go to row number 200. You will see that the information is correct. It's banana. No, 200 is banana. It's fruit. It's 5021. That is the date, and is United States. So instead of going through this document from time to time, you can easily use this as a search into your very large worksheet. So all you just need to do, so like I showed you, all you just need to do is name, give, so that to avoid highlighting or selecting the entire range, because you may have a very large one. All you just need to do is select and, use Control A. So if you use the Control A, then you are going to be able to select all the range, and then you'll be able to go through the entire range. Okay, you'll be able to see where all the data. So you use Control A to select the entire range. Okay, so that is where we are going to stop, and I hope you find this quite interesting. I want to encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get quite a lot of more exciting and interesting topics like this. So see you some other time, and bye for now.